Hey, Novak. Yo. Once again, Novak's back in the goddamn hospital.
I want to allow my nephew to come up here and kind of open this up. My nephew is a kid that I think the world of. He's a young kid who's like finding his way, navigating through living life without a drink or a drug, and he's having a great time doing it. So without further ado, this is my nephew, Colin.
You guys know I'm Colin, I'm an alcoholic. So when he said he brought me down to treatment, he forcefully removed me from the house I was living in college. When I wasn't in college, pretty much just running my life into the ground. And Brandon was always there for me whenever I got arrested. I didn't see it at the time, but long before I knew, he was trying to 12-step. He would show up when I got arrested and say, he would compare it to cleaning his room. He would say, I can't look at my whole room at one time and imagine, the whole thing being clean. I gotta pick it up one sock at a time. And I didn't know what that meant at the time, but today, it's relatable because I don't know what's gonna happen tomorrow. Yesterday already happened, but I have today. I can do better than I was yesterday and prepare for what's coming for tomorrow. But I sat in these seats where you sit and managed to get linked up with a group of men who I admire today that have shown me the path that they took to get where they are. And they walk with passion for the program of AA, which I'm very fond of today. And I try to live it the best I can. Treatment's tough, it's tough to sit in here and lose a lot of freedoms when you come. But there's another life out there. Today I'm, for the most part, self-sufficient financially. I've been able to build up to a point where I take care of myself. I don't really rely on family as much as I did. I don't burden them the way I did. And it goes to show that there's more to life than what I was doing 2.5 years ago. But I'll just leave it short and kind of just hopefully relay a message of hope. But thank you.
My name is Brandon, I'm an alcoholic. And when I say my name is Brandon, I'm an alcoholic, all that simply means that I'm defiant by nature, I hate authority, and I'll never conform. And the reality is, May 25th, 2015, I found myself walking into my 13th inpatient treatment center. At the end of my run, I found myself standing on the corner of Eastern Avenue and Patterson Park in Baltimore City, prostituting my body just to secure enough finances to acquire another bag of heroin. The God of my understanding showed up in the form of divinely inconveniencing me in just such a manner that he created just a big enough gap between me and the last shot of heroin that I stuck into my arm that allowed me to have that moment of clarity to see what my life really looked like was. And at that very moment, walking into my 13th inpatient treatment center, despite being a successful individual that had done some things in life that people would accredit to success, happiness, potentially even dream of doing, May 25th, 2015, I could no longer deny the severity of the disease for which I had been diagnosed with. I found myself as a 38-year-old homeless heroin addict trying to figure out how the fuck I got there. Proving a point why I didn't belong. This was just an overreaction at best. You just caught me at a bad time on a bad way and a bad day. Tomorrow's gonna be different. In retrospect, my life is live forward, learn backwards. How did I get here? Because I sat there possessing a job that consisted of knowing everything, refusing to conform.
Hey, Novak. Yo. Once again, Novak's back in the goddamn hospital.
As a matter of fact, I keep my past married to my present. Because the moment that I forget the pain that brought me through treatment center number 13 doors, praying to God, please just give me one more chance, director, please, I'll go back. Realizing that the common denominator in my problems were me, and the very best that I came up with placed me in this fucking seat here. And if I just get the fuck out of my way, maybe I have a shot. Maybe you are on to something that I'm not. And I dumb my way into sobriety. Unbeknownst to me, May 25th, 2015, my pain had turned into my purpose. Because I'm gonna say something that I guarantee 9 out of 10 of you can relate to, that you've sat in this seat and you've come this close to outthinking yourself away from it. I want you to remember one thing, and my mother can attest to this. My story was not my story in the beginning either. When my mother dropped me off at my very first treatment center at the ripe young age of 17, my story then is not what I'm sharing with you today. If I can get you to that point where you want what I have so bad, the terms of your contract have completely changed. And the guy that on May 25th, 2015, walking into his 13th inpatient treatment center, fresh off life support, fresh off my mother going to church across the street, getting on her knees, praying to God, dear God, please cure him, kill him, or kill me because I can't take it anymore. Everything I owned consisted of 8 scarves, 2 jackets, 3 socks, 1 stick of deodorant, a needle, a spoon, and a restraining order at 38. I checked into a facility. I successfully completed that 90-day program. From that 90-day program, I followed the suggestions of my sponsor and I went to a sober living house where I had lived for a year. 8 months into my process of sobriety, my mother called me and she said, I hate when you come to visit me. I said, why? She said, because I get so sad when you leave. 2 months shy of my 2-year anniversary, I signed my release papers. On my 3rd year anniversary, I bought a fucking home. On my 4th year anniversary, I decided I wanted to go to Amsterdam to an Alcoholics Anonymous meeting and pick up my medallion. On my 5th year anniversary, I decided that I was gonna give back what was so freely given to me, and I opened up a 12-bed men's recovery house in Wilmington, Delaware. May 25th, 2021, I just celebrated 6 years of continuous sobriety. If justice was due, I'd be dead years ago. The real MVP of my story is this insane woman sitting right here.
For years, I couldn't sleep at nights waiting for the call, waiting for the call, waiting for the call. And then one of the doctors that was working with me, he had a daughter he was going through the same thing with. He came in, he said, Pat, I got the call. I said, oh, I'm so sorry, Jay. He said, no, I'm sorry for you because you're still waiting for the call. And God knows when you're gonna get it. So you have to think of that and keep all that in mind. I'm very proud of Brandon for what he's done now and how far he's climbed up the ladder and for what Banyan has done for him. And of course, my little grandson here too, who tags along. And thank you all very much for listening to him cuss.